Welcome into the Situation Room. I'm Angus Hout. Good afternoon. Sorry we didn't get a Situation Room last week. I messed up and forgot to put it on YouTube. It was like 95% of the way there, and then it just didn't get done. So my bad. Let's just hop right in. The Jets, 4-game losing streak snapped in the third period against the St. Louis Blues. Connor Bennington, uh, Jordan Bennington stood on his head for a good, what was that, 43 minutes, and then fell apart. Fantastic to see. You'd love to see guys like that not have any success. Well, not have any success, but we're not rooting for him here in Winnipeg. And it was kind of like the team rose out of the ashes. Wasn't going well. The Jets had seen what, 2 goals in, I think it was like 10 periods. And then we got to see 4 in 1. Fantastic. So, yeah, this team is interesting. His team is very interesting. They rose out of the ashes. I love to see it. And they go into the All-Star break, second place in the division. And you can't complain about that a whole lot. Like, you like what this team has been doing, that they haven't been consistent, but they generally, minus this 2 weeks, have been, able to beat the teams that are below them in the standings. They've been struggling with the teams ahead of them. They've been swept by 2 different teams that are above them in the standings, both Toronto and Dallas. So that's not great to see. But yeah, this is just a strange team altogether. I like what we saw out of the lineup there on Thursday night, or not Thursday night, my goodness, on Monday night against the St. Louis Blues, where Rick Bowness went crazy with his lines. I mean, let's just go through them. The top line, you had Connor Scheifele, makes sense. Kuhlman. Okay, Carson Kuhlman, what are you doing up there? But all right, well, let's accept you. Let's go to the second line, which is where we get real crazy. Baron Dubois, Manalainen, which was actually my favorite line of the night. I thought they clicked really well together, especially Manalainen. That guy has worked his butt off in the last couple of games. He took a little bit to get the rust off of him, but once he got going, he's been cruising really well. And being the evil double of Nikolai Healers, it's fun to see the fact that both of those guys are just succeeding so well. Perfetti, Lowry, and Wheeler are the third line. We got to see Wheeler on the third line way more often. He's just getting old, and after his testy popped there, I'm wondering if he's getting enough testosterone. Like, I know that should be like a question we're all asking about Blake Wheeler right now. Is he getting enough testosterone? I'm not trying to be like, oh, he's less of a man, he's a beta. No, we're not talking with language like that here. He's still a leader in that locker room. He's still playing really hard, but he's lost a bit of a jump in his step since taking a puck to the pills and ultimately rupturing one of them. So I'm a little bit worried about Blake Wheeler, but he's also 36, so maybe the third line is a place for him to be. So yeah, Blake Wheeler needs to be a third liner from here to the rest of this end of the season. Maybe every now and then you can put him up with Scheifele, but unfortunately, Wheels is just getting up there in age. And then on your fourth line, you got Stenlund, Gagne, and Ehlers, which was interesting to see. I mean, it made sense why Ehlers ended up on the fourth line. Like, he started off really well when he came back, but he brought his game down low, and I don't know what it is with him. He hadn't had a good couple of games. I mean, in that Philly game, he had that weird slap shot where he ended up just falling because he muffed on the puck. I don't know what was going on with him, but Ehlers on the fourth line, it makes sense. And I like the fact that Bowness stuck to the punishment for the entire 60 minutes. He didn't give up halfway through it. And I think half of the reason is he put his big line together. I believe it was Connor Scheifele and Dubois that he put out there. I want to say that. Maybe it was Connor Scheifele, Ehlers. But either way, you had Connor Scheifele out there, and they got scored on like almost immediately. So you're just like, So it made sense why Bowness kept the 60 minutes of not trying out there, of not trying, of just sporadic lines. I liked it, and even the defense. Like, the defense, I was kind of mostly happy with, minus Neil Pionk. Dylan Sandberg and Kyle Capobianco. Not like a sexy line pairing together, but not a bad pairing. Dylan Schmidt, it's consistent. You know what you're getting out of those two game in and game out. It's not a sexy line, but it's a line that gets things done. And then you got Morrissey Pionk. It should be Morrissey DeMello till the end of time, period. I really hope that the Jets can find a great defensive partner for Dylan Samberg. Trade Neil Pionk out 1-for-1. Find a partner for Samberg that's going to work out really well. Connor Hellebuck has played lights out during this time. He has a 245 goals against average. The guy is great. Period. And David Rich, well, we like David Rich and his little laugh. Yeah, like honestly, right now, if the Jets, what I want to see done with the Jets is just something, I've said it 1,000 times before. Find yourself a middle six center who can also play on the right wing. I know that's a unicorn that you're asking for, but if you can find it, get that. But and the Neil Pionk, trade him 1-for-1, find a partner for Samberg. And even if you got to go Stanley and Pionk, fine, whatever. I don't care. Those two are your weakest Jets. They have a lot of potential. They have a lot of good qualities about them, but they're not the qualities you want to see within the Jets locker room, unfortunately. And like Logan Stanley just bothered me a whole lot. He had his first game back, fantastic, and then just blew it. Mason Appleton coming back after the NHL All-Star break. Where's he going to fit into the lineup? So on your right side, you've got Carson Kuhlman, Saku Manalainen, Blake Wheeler, Sam Gagner. Gagner's probably coming out. Appleton's probably going in. But then you have to send someone to the minors because you have now run out of space. Unless David Gustafson's legitimately injured, you can put him on the injured, just on injury. If you can put him on injury, maybe you're all right having Gustafson on the shelf, but we'll see. And same thing with DeMello. We'll see where he's at, because if DeMello's out, you can kind of keep the lineup relatively the same. You don't have to send anyone down to the minors or hopefully lose them on waivers. But I think Axel Johnson-Fialvi is probably the guy that ends up going down. Not that he deserves it, because he's played fine. He's been a great forechecker. He has off games for sure, but I've really enjoyed Axel Johnson-Fialvi. Sam Gagner, you're not sending down. You have him as a veteran presence within your room. Stenlund has earned his right to stay with the Jets. Manalainen, I think that he's earned his spot with the Jets, but he could also be a guy that could go down. But I think Axel Johnson-Fialvi probably has less of a reason to be with the Jets long term. And Carson Kuhlman, he's the newest Jet. He hasn't done it for me necessarily. Like, I haven't been wowed by him, but we sure love our Minnesota players here in Winnipeg. So if anyone, it's Axel Johnson-Fialvi, which is a sad day, because I like Axel Johnson-Fialvi. He plays his game, and he skates hard. He's fast. He's quick. And he's learning how to play with a brand new stick, a new size of stick. So Axel Johnson-Fialvi, unfortunately, you probably getting sent down. Like, if this is Survivor, you're just getting your little tiki torch put out there. So for Axel Johnson-Fialvi, if I was the unfortunate dink who was the GM, but I'm not. That's Kevin Cheveldale, who has to figure out what trades he needs to make. Allegedly, the Jets were in on Nick Richie of the Arizona Coyotes. He's a big boy. Let's go pull up his official stats so I don't lie to all of you fine folks. But he's been around the league. He's played for Anaheim. He's played for Boston. He's played for Toronto and Arizona. He stands at 6 foot. He stands at 6'3", 236. The Jets already have this guy. His name's Morgan Barron. Morgan Barron scores less goals, but you're getting a better bang out of your buck with Morgan Barron. You still have him under team control for a little bit. Morgan Barron makes way more sense to keep around than Nick Richie. So I really hope that rumor wasn't true. And I just, maybe the Jets were like, well, let's just see what that Nick Richie guy's about. But I don't see him sticking around with the Jet. Or I don't see him being a Winnipeg Jet. Otherwise, if he is, I'm just going to call this, I'll just start calling him Jordy Ben 2.0 because that's basically what he would be. Oh, wow. I've gone through a whole lot of my stuff. Yeah. Wow. That was a very, very quick version of the situation room. I did this originally. This took me 40 minutes and then I wasn't a big fan, so I condensed everything. Apparently I got everything I need to say. What are the Jets doing with their time off? I haven't seen what the Jets are doing with their time off. I'm very interested to know. I honestly, if I was making $1 million plus a year, probably just going somewhere warm. I hope that they're going to like Florida, maybe doing some water slides. What's that? Something Dell's down. Wisconsin Dell? Either way, I would be going somewhere with lots of water slides. That's what I'd be doing with my time off if I was a multimillionaire. Obviously, I'd want a few days to rest, but anyone that's out there playing golf right now, what's wrong with you? Like Mark Scheifele's probably out there playing a round of golf in Augusta. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just feel like my body would want to rest after playing that much hockey over that short of a time. Yeah, interesting. I do want to talk about the Jets 4-game losing streak though, because like I said, they are 3-game losing streak. I don't know why I keep saying 4-game. I've had that on my mind for like 3 days. I keep thinking it's 4 games, and I've talked to people. And they're like, it's 3 games, Angus. And it's like, yes, you're absolutely right. But over that 3-game losing streak, the Jets scored early in the first period against Nashville. Then they couldn't score until late in the Buffalo game, and then nothing in Philadelphia. So the Jets basically couldn't score any legitimate goals for, well, a long time. So basically periods 2 and 3, no goals. The Jets 4 periods without a goal between Buffalo and Nashville. Then you get 2 quick goals in the third period with Buffalo, nothing in Philly, and then 2 quick goals 4 relatively quick goals in St. Louis. So in the third period, let's make that abundantly clear too. So if you take away those 2 Buffalo goals, let's just take away the third period from Buffalo, and then all of a sudden, and the first period from Nashville. So you got 2 periods, 2 periods, 3 periods. So that's 7, and another 2. That's 9. The Jets really only managed to score, couldn't score for 9 periods. It's like, it's cool they scored those 2 late ones in Buffalo, but again, Eric Comrie and the Jets really didn't muster any kind of offense until late in that game. 11 shots or 15 shots, like 11 shots through 40 minutes, not good enough. 15 shots through almost 50, definitely not good enough. Like Rick Bowness had every reason to be pissed off about that, and the fans did too. I'd be so mad if I spent money on that game. The Nashville game, you can't even blame the Jets. Like, they were just beaten by a great goaltender in UC Soros. And in the Philly game, Carter Hart again played lights out hockey, and the Jets lost to him. They couldn't beat the post a few times. It was a strange place to be Saturday night with this team, because it's like they kind of played well. And even in St. Louis, when they went, they only managed 1 shot on a 4-minute power play. It's like, is this team for real, or are they going back to their selfish ways? And then, the third period where Josh Morrissey finally put everything on his back and like, let's go. He scored that goal and got the crowd fired up. Oh, that was fantastic. Josh Morrissey deserves so much more love from the city. Getting the crowd fired up. If you don't love Josh Morrissey, if you're not considering putting Josh Morrissey on the back of his jersey, there's something seriously wrong with you. You do not appreciate that guy well enough. If you're not putting Josh Morrissey on the back of a jersey, which defender are you putting on? Because if it's not Dylan DeMello, I'm going to be kind of upset with you. It's not going to be Logan Stanley, I'll tell you that much. Maybe Dylan Sandberg. And I am going to be gatekeeping and being a bit of a dink here. Josh Morrissey is so important to this team. You need to be appreciating moments like getting the crowd hyped up after scoring a goal, 17 or with 3 minutes into the third period. Josh Morrissey is a leader, and that proved to me how good of a leader he is. He got the crowd fired up, and he put the team on his back. You gotta love guys like that. So, I'm sold on Josh Morrissey. I'm sold on him. Not sold on the forwards yet. And Dylan DeMello, I'm very sold on him. He's just underappreciated and underloved. And I get it. Like, you don't see goals and points by his name, so you kind of ignore him. But man, that guy is so good and underappreciated. Also, and I said it a few weeks ago, Dylan DeMello should be making what Neil Pionk is making, and Neil Pionk should be making what Dylan DeMello makes. So, yeah, that's all I've got for the Situation Room. I'm glad that I'm glitching out on Zoom one more time. I love watching the weird pink, red, and green and blue colors just light up right now. I'm going to say the same thing that I always say. If you wanted to get in on the advertisements, let me know. If my bosses want me to do advertisements, they can send me an email. But an advertisement would go right here. We would start the podcast off with an advertisement, and I just tell you about what you need to know about you or your advertisement or your place of work. So yeah, send me an email, angushout@gmail.com. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. You can follow me, Angus Hout, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can check out jetsnation.ca. Go check, make sure you give us a like and follow here on the Nation Network YouTube channel. And trying one more. There's one more thing I needed to talk about. jetsnation.ca. That's probably it. Peace and grace, friends. I'll talk to you again on Sunday and probably next week again on the Situation Room. Peace.